Hey, welcome to Creighton University in the CU Sports Complex for today's softball game between Drake and Creighton, two old Missouri Valley Conference rivals. Tim Kruger here alongside John Schreiner. Hi, John.
How you doing, Tim?
Great. A little cool afternoon, about 50 degrees and overcast here in Omaha. And here's the Drake starting lineup for today's game. Batting first, third baseman Tasha Alexander. Second at shortstop will be Mandy Remick. Center fielder will be Megan Soa. Hitting cleanup today will be Sarah Maddox. The pitcher today will be Kaylee Smith. Tara Pena will be the designated player. At second base, Kelsey Wright. The right fielder will be Caitlin Finneran. The catcher, Gabby Jonas. And in left field, Abby Bowie.
With this lineup, Tim, I think today the top five in that lineup, all hitting over 300 for the Bulldogs. It's going to be very imperative to start this game that the Blue Jays get on top early, limit the production from those top five. They're going to be very dangerous at the top of the order.
All right, so leading off today for the Drake Bulldogs, third baseman Tasha Alexander. Alexander hitting .337 on the season. And we're underway from Omaha. Strike one. Alexander has 28 hits on the season with 7 RBIs. Here's the 0-1 from Clark. Strike two. In the circle today for the Jays, Brianna Clark. Ooh, inside. And they're calling out a put out here, so the catcher throws it over Gorman at first, and there's one gone.
And Alexander is unsure. I think she thought she took it off the hand, but we're going to have a little chat over here between the Drake staff as we get a look at the starting pitcher today for Creighton.
Yeah, Brianna Clark, 65 innings, 3.45 ERA. She struck out 35 and walked 27. Still some discussion on that last play. It did appear perhaps hit her.
And she was shaking her hand like it might have caught her on the hand. I don't know what her umpire saw. Let's see if we can see it here on the replay. Comes in and catches her right on the hand.
Yep, looks
I
right
think
on the
it
wrist.
might have got the end of the bat as well. Caught the knob at the bottom of the bat. And I think that's what our umpire is explaining to Rich Calvert right now, that it came off the knob of the bat, and that's a fair ball in play. And the throw down to first makes it out number one.
Yeah, it did appear to hit the bat, right on the knob of the bat. All right, so there's one down for the Bulldogs. And that comes left-handed hitting Mandy Remick. Clark delivers. And it's in there on the corner, 1-1.
Mentioned that I thought it would be important for Creighton to get out to a fast start and limit this lineup. They're 2-12 on the season, Tim, when the opponent scores first. So all the more important to slow down the potent top end of this Drake lineup.
Another pitch on the corner by Clark, and it's 1-2. Yeah, Remick's hitting .356 on the season. The 1-2, just off the outside edge, and it's 2-2.
Remick, freshman out of West Des Moines, stayed home to play for Drake.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Struck her out. 2 down here. First strikeout on the day for Clark. There's Rich Calvert, his 15th year with the Bulldogs. Just got his 401st victory last weekend. And now here's Megan Soa. Takes a pitch, low, ball one. So in the season, hitting .325, 14 RBIs, 3 home runs. And on the outside corner again, evens out at 1-1.
Clark's doing a good job. She's been aggressive early, just hammering the strike zone, daring the batters to swing, and so far nobody's put a good swing on one yet.
Line foul. Back over the Creighton dugout, and it's 1-2.
You know, we were talking before the game about the wind, Tim, and it's always something that you address when you're playing baseball. It's kind of strange. It feels like it's shifting around here a little bit north.
There's a line drive up the middle, base hit for Soa. And the first Bulldog aboard here in the top of the first. So 1 on 2 out here for Drake. And first baseman Sarah Maddox steps to the plate, right-handed hitter. Maddox hitting .329, 22 RBIs on the season. Strike on the outside corner, 0-1. A little high, 1-1. Low, 2-1 now. As we mentioned, Clark, most innings pitched on the Jays staff, 65 innings this season.
She's been the power arm, too. She leads the team in strikeouts. Her strikeout of Remich was number 36.
There's a fly ball in the right field. Coming on, Finneran, and it drops in. Soa's going to try and score. The throw to second, and she's in there. Soa comes all the way around from first, and Drake takes a 1-0 lead.
Good bit of aggressive base running by Megan Soa. Sees the ball drop in. Rounds third and sees the throw coming to second. Able to cruise into home.
Cantu just unable to get to that one. And, you know, as we mentioned, we've seen the flags blow in about 3 different directions here in the first inning.
Call it a base hit.
Kaylee Smith, the pitcher, steps to the plate.
Well, that's one that Cantu is going to wish that she could have back.
There's a strike, and we're 1-1. Yeah, it just seemed at the last second that ball kind of drifted toward the infield a little bit. Because now if we look at the flags, they seem to be blowing in.
Yeah, the wind is just swirling around, and it's going to make fly balls tough to play here today.
It's outside, and it's 2-1. Very close play at second, too. Cantu decide to go that route. Correction, that was a strike. We're at 1-2 now. Pitch. Ball gets away. And down to third goes Maddox. Count evens at 2-2.
So close to being out of this inning. First 2 batters retired. Then the single from Soa. And now a pass ball puts Maddox on third.
Full count here to Smith. Pena on deck for the Bulldogs. Here's the 3-2. Lined off the net, just foul. Full count. Yeah, that would have been a big out, especially getting those 2 power hitters, 2 of the top hitters of the Bulldogs out in the first inning. 3-2. That's inside. And there's a walk to Smith, and now runners at the corners with 2 down. And Taryn Pena will step to the plate.
28th walk issued on the season by Clark. It's been something she's struggled with here in the early going. She strikes out a lot, but she walks a few as well, and she gives the free pass to Kaylee Smith, and Pena, the DP, here trying to knock another one in this first inning.
There's a strike, 0-1. Yeah, I think that's a little bit of the consistency Coach Vignes is looking for from this team. The 0-1. Just a little low. 1-1. Clark trying to pitch out of a jam here in the bottom of the first. There's a grounder to the third. Over to Garmin, and that'll end the inning. But the Bulldogs get a run. Take a 1-0 lead. So after half inning, strike one, Creighton coming to bat. You're watching Creighton Blue Jays softball on GoCreighton.com. All right, hitting in the bottom of the first, here is the Creighton starting lineup. Leading off will be Ashley Cantu, the right fielder. Batting second will be Tosh Kofel. Hitting third, Sam Dellinger, the designated player. Hitting cleanup today for the Jays, Anna O'Gorman. Batting fifth, Jordan Sturgeon, the catcher. Hitting sixth, Allie Reinhardt, the center fielder. Batting seventh, Jen Darrell, the third baseman. Sam Crowley, left fielder, hits next. And Anjani McCoy, the second baseman, hitting ninth. On the mound for the Bulldogs today will be Kaylee Smith. And leading off, as we said, Ashley Cantu. Cantu, I'm sure, wishing to make amends for that play out in right field where she just couldn't quite get to that pop fly out there that would have ended the inning. So Drake gets a run in the top of the first, and here we go in the bottom half. Smith delivers. Strike one.
Cantu starts showing bunt, and then looked like she was going to try the little run-out slapper. Pulled the bat back.
She attempts again, swing and a miss, 0-2. Delivery. Swing and a miss by Cantu, and there's one gone here in the bottom of the first. There's Kaylee Smith, 93 innings pitched with a 4.5 ERA, 42 strikeouts, 38 walks, so about same ratio of strikeouts to walk as Clark for the Jays.
That's already 7 and 8 on the season. Haven't even started conference play yet. She's seen a lot of action here in the early part of the year.
Sure has. All right, left-handed hitting Tosh Kofel is up.
She's
takes strike one.
Easily pitched the most innings by about 40 for the Bulldogs.
There's a grounder to second. Wright has it and over to Maddox, and there's two away.
And this has been the biggest area of concern for the Blue Jays on the season. They're hitting .206 as a team, and When your top two strike out and then an easy grounder to second to start a game, you see where those struggles begin.
And there's Coach Brent Vignes in his 24th season here at Creighton. 719 wins he's compiled. There's a tapper back to the mound. Wright gets it, throws over to first, and it's safe. Dillinger beats it out.
Great hustle by Dellinger. Just gets under the pitcher Smith's glove. And Wright couldn't quite get it there in time, but a good hustle by Dellinger to beat out the throw.
Close play at first, but she just got in there, so there's 1 on, 2 out. And here's Anna O'Gorman, the first baseman. Pitch up high, ball 1. O'Gorman hitting .242 on the season. 11 RBIs. Got her first home run as a Creighton Blue Jay last weekend. Line down the right field line and into there. Corner. O'Gorman rounding third. Gonna come home. No throw is cut off, and the Jays have tied it up 1-1 the bottom of the first. A 2-out double by Anna O'Gorman.
Nice piece of hitting to drive that thing the other way. Just did keep it fair. Dillinger had the wheels churning. Able to come all the way and score from first on the ball in the corner. A great answer from Creighton here in the bottom of the first.
And now Jordan Sturgeon steps to the plate, the Jays catcher. Runner in scoring position here with 2 out. Here's the first pitch. And it's in there for a strike. Yeah, that was a rocket down the right field line, just landing about 2 feet inside the line in the right field corner.
Sturgeon here with a chance to add to those 11 RBIs she's got.
Changeup in there again. 0-2. Pitch is up and in. 1-2.
Interesting story about Sturgeon. She played a couple of years at South Dakota and caught for Brianna Clark there as well. Now they're both Blue Jays.
1-2, swing and a miss. She goes down swinging. But the Jays answer with a big RBI double by O'Gorman, and after 1 inning, it's Drake 1, Creighton 1. You're watching Creighton Blue Jay softball on GoCreighton.com. All right, welcome back to the CU Sports Complex. Top of the second. Drake and Creighton even at 1. Both teams with 2 hits. And stepping to the plate is left-handed hitting Kelsey Wright, second baseman for the Bulldogs. Brianna Clark begins her second inning in the circle. And there's a strike, 0-1. Spoke a little bit about the wind. I mean, we're kind of enclosed here at Sports Complex for the softball field, and there's a liner to short. Over to O'Gorman, not in time. Kofel on kind of an in-between play. Decided to sit back and wait, and good speed by Wright and beat out the throw to first.
Wright hitting just 147 on the season, so you don't blame Clark for pounding the strike zone on somebody hitting under 200, but just able to sneak it in there for the infield single.
And there's a pop fly bunt to the pitcher. And Caitlin Finneran is out, trying to attempt to advance right over to second. Clark makes the catch, and there's one down.
And that's one of those that'll drive an opposing coach crazy. When you call the bunt, and they don't get the ball, and the player doesn't get the ball on the ground, a little pop up to the pitcher. Just got to execute those. The bunt should be an easy ground ball. In this case, it was an easy pop out.
Jonas Ketcher steps in for the Bulldogs. There's a line drive down the right field line and it drops foul. Count goes to 0-2. Gabby Jonas hitting 154 on the season. 2 hits, 2 RBIs.
It is a very top-heavy lineup for the Bulldogs. If you can get through those first 4 or 5 without any damage done, it gets a little easier at the bottom.
Inside, 1-2. Pena and Jonas kind of trade off on catching duties for the Bulldogs. One and two, just off the edge. Clark thought she had that one. 2-2.
Sturgeon turned around and asked the umpire where it was, so she must have thought it was pretty close.
There's a liner into center field, a base hit for Jonas. Bulldogs got something going here again in the top of the second. 2 on, 1 out. And we're back to the top of the order for the Bulldogs. Tasha Alexander to the plate.
Take a look here. Looked like it was a little curveball. Maybe a screwball coming back at the hitter, but she kept the hands inside, able to drive it right up the middle into center field for the base hit.
Starts off to Alexander, just low, ball 1. As you said, John, top heavy. Alexander hitting .333 in the season. One hopper to Gorman. Tags first, but the runners do advance. So she did her job advancing the ball over the right side. And now 2 runners in scoring position for the Bulldogs. And Mandy Rimmick steps to the plate. Rimmick hasn't been a big RBI producer for the Bulldogs this year, but the leading hitter for Drake. First pitch swung on and missed. Strike 1.
Need to be very careful with where she's placing the ball here. One swing makes this game, puts the Blue Jays in a 2-run deficit. So Clark's got to pitch around this a little bit and see if she can get Remick to maybe swing at something out of the zone, throw her some junk.
One count to Remick. That pitch on the outside corner, 1-2.
And see, it doesn't look like Clark wants to give her anything good to look at. Recognizes the danger she's in here and wants to get out of this 2-out jam.
Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed. Big strikeout for Clark there, and the Jays wiggle out of a potential big inning for Drake. So after an inning and a half, it's still Drake 1, Creighton 1. You're watching Creighton Blue Jays softball on GoCreighton.com. welcome back to CU Sports Complex. Tim Kruger along with John Schreiner here. Two old MVC foes battling today under cloudy skies here in Omaha, about 50 degrees, a little breeze. We're tied up going to the bottom of the second. And leading off for Jays is Allie Reinhardt, center fielder. Smith delivers. Strike one. Reinhardt batting 194 in the season. 13 hits, 11 RBIs. Change up a little low, 1-1.
You mentioned that these two, both Creighton formerly of the MVC, Drake still an MVC member. Conference rivals from 93 to 2013. Creighton 58 and 31 in this series against the Bulldogs. They hold the advantage.
It's 2-1. That surprised me a little bit because Drake has traditionally had a pretty good softball program.
Especially under Rich Calvert, they've been pretty successful.
There's a strike, and count evens at 2-2.
They've been NVC tournament qualifiers 12 of the 14 years that he has been the head man for the Bulldogs and made the NCAA tournament in 2008.
There's a line drive center field. Base hit for Reinhardt, and a leadoff runner aboard here for the Jays in the second.
Good swing on it from Reinhardt. Saw the pitch she wanted. Able to get the barrel of the bat to it. Nice little poke into center field.
Christian Fry, pinch running for the Jays for Reinhardt. And stepping to the plate for the Jays is Jen Darrow. Darrow batting 160 on the season. And as we said, Jays hitting only 206 as a team, but so far today, collected 3 hits already here in the second inning. There's a strike on the corner, 0-1.
And you'd expect with the pinch runner on now that the Blue Jays will be pretty aggressive. Fry out there on the base pass, probably looking to take an extra base if she can when it's available.
Shows bunt. Pitch is low, 1-1. Showing bunt again is Darrell. Pulls the bat back. That one's outside, 2-1.
Pitch up and out of the zone. Perhaps the early bunt show gave Smith the occasion to throw it out of the zone and hope that she'd leave the bat out there. With a good pullback by Darrow.
Just pulled the infielders in, that's for sure. At the corners, that's for sure. That's up high, 3-1 now.
Smith looking just a little bit rattled after putting the leadoff runner on first.
Three and 1 to the Jays third baseman. There's a fly ball into left field, down the line, just foul.
Boy, it couldn't have been any closer, Tim. That was just left to the line. Initially, it was a question of whether the park was going to hold it, and then kind of died as it carried out into left field, and then hit that wall just on the left side of the line. We'll see if we get a good look at it on the replay.
John, you and I had a great look at that one, looking right down the line, and it just landed at the base of the wall.
Just foul.
Full count now to Darrow. There's a line drive down the third base line. Fair ball, base hit. Bowie throws it back in. Jay's got something cooking here in the bottom of the second. 2-1, nobody out. As did the Bulldogs in the top half of this inning, and they did not score.
And as you said, that bunt show just drags the third baseman in, and she can't quite get there. Alexander just sneaks it, lets it sneak under the glove, and Jays with runners on first and second. Ajane McCoy at the plate.
That pitch is outside.
Excuse me, Crowley.
Ball
Got a
one.
little ahead of myself there.
Yeah, Sam Crowley's batter. Crowley hitting 196 on the season. Shows bunt here, and offers, and misses. 1-1. Yeah, I think you're right, John. It does appear that Smith is a little bit rattled here after the Jays have put the bat on the ball pretty well here in the last 7, 8, 9 at bats.
When we saw her in that first inning, she looked like she was on it. Got a strikeout to bookend the inning. First out, third out, strikeouts, and she's just come out here in the second, and control's been a little bit missing.
Crowley offers
Kaylee
at that
Smith.
one. Excuse me. Crowley offers at that one and misses again, so it's 1-2 now. Be interesting to see what Coach Vignes does here. 1-2, runners on first and second. And that's strike three on the outside corner. And left fielder Sam Crowley goes down.
No sooner spoken, and Kaylee Smith finds the control and earns a strikeout for out number one here in the second.
All right, now here's the Jays second baseman Coy stepping in. Hitting 116 on the season. Has 5 hits. 2 triples though. So she has good speed, and there's a strike 0-1. On Janae McCoy. Here's the 0-1. Dribbler back to the mound. Smith bluffed and then decided to go back to first base to Maddox. Got the out, but the runners advance, and now Jays have 2 runners in scoring position with 2 down. And they're back around to the top of the order with Ashley Cantu coming to the plate. Boy, this is deja vu. Just almost carbon copy of Drake's top half of this inning.
We talked between the innings, and Bulldogs have already left 4 on base. The Blue Jays left 1 in the first, and now if things go wrong here, they could leave 2 themselves. As you said, carbon copy here in the second inning.
Foul tip there on the first pitch, 0-1. There's a bouncer, snagged by Smith. Over to Maddox. And Smith does it. Pitches out of a big jam there in the bottom of the second. 2 left on for the Jays. And at the end of 2, it's still Drake 1, Creighton 1. You're watching Creighton Blue Jay softball on GoCreighton.com. All right, welcome back to the CU Sports Complex. Tim Kruger and John Schreiner here. Bringing you some Creighton Blue Jay softball today from the CU Sports Complex. Jays home opener here, 2017 season. Begin the top of the third. Megan Soa steps in for the Bulldogs. There's a strike.
Soa singled and scored back in the first. She was the first base runner of the day for the Bulldogs.
2-0 now to Soa.
Maddox double drove her in. The only run so far scored by Drake.
Just a little high, 3-0. Yeah, as you said, John, tremendous production for Coach Calvert in the top four hitters here in their batting order.
Soa 329 with 22 RBIs on the season.
And a 4-pitch walk by Clark to start off top of the third.
Two trips to the plate for Soa. And her on-base percentage is 100.
Sturgeon going out to the mound to have a little conversation with Clark there. And Maddox steps in. Push your average up to 337 now. 23 RBIs. There's a strike on the corner, 0-1. 1-1 here in the top of the third.
And so on the base pass is dangerous. We know she scored from first on that double by Maddox in the first. Jays have to be aware. Maybe throw to the extra base.
Another one on the outside corner, 0-2 now. Up high, 1-2. Right fielder Ashley Cantu playing pretty deep out there in right field. There's a pop-up over the first baseman. O'Gorman's over by the dugout and makes the catch. One gone here for the Bulldogs in the top of the third. And now Kaylee Smith, the pitcher, comes to bat.
There's a little bit of a break. It's 4 o'clock.
Rounder to first. Calling a foul ball on that one. 0-1.
I was just going to say the pop foul by Maddox is a little bit of a break for Clark, as she had kind of come out here and looked like she was struggling a little bit after issuing a 4-pitch walk.
Hit right in the batter's box there. 0-1. Line foul down the right field line. 0-2.
We had talked about Kaylee Smith perhaps struggling with control a little bit in the second inning, and now it looks as though Clark is having her own issues here in the third.
1-2 now. Just missed the strike zone. 2-2. Another one that I think Clark really wanted.
And Sturgeon tried to do a good frame job on it. Just had to lift it up.
2-2. Line down the right field line, and it's going to fall foul as well.
Good at bat from Kaylee Smith so far. She's fought off everything that's come in the zone and let the bad ones go by. Hasn't been able to straighten one out as of yet.
She drew a walk in the first inning. Just low. 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch. And That one's inside, and Smith draws her second walk. And again here in the third, Drake has runners at first and second with less than 2 outs. Taryn Pena will step to the plate.
And that is the third walk of the day issued by Brianna Clark.
That one just a bit low, 1-0, excuse me. O'Gorman running in, calling time. Have a little word with Clark, settle her down a bit.
She's just lost the strike zone. She was really hammering it there in that first inning, looking really good. And came out here in the third and for whatever reason just hasn't been able to quite find it.
And there's a strike, 1-1. Yeah, you could tell in that the first pitch there, she was really trying to aim that one in there.
And that's probably what O'Gorman came over and said, hey, just settle down, don't aim it, just fire it in there.
There's a pop fly, second. And McCoy grabs it, and they're now 2 down. So Clark with a chance here to pitch out of this jam here in the third.
It's kind of been the story of the game. Each pitcher in seemingly every inning so far puts himself in a jam, runners on, no out, and then finds a way out of it with minimal damage given up.
In there on the corner, 0-1. There's been about as much action for a 1-1 game as you can expect. In almost 2.5 innings.
We've had base runners, we've had near home run, we've had just about everything you could imagine so far.
Some close calls, foul and fair down the lines. 1-1 to right. There's a line drive right to Kofel, and she makes a play, and once again, Clark pitches out of a jam here in the third. 2 left on base again for the Bulldogs, and after 2.5, it's Drake 1, Creighton 1. You're watching Creighton Blue Jay Softball on GoCreighton.com. All right, we're back. Beautiful view of the campus here in Omaha. Looking east towards Missouri River, you can see the bridge in the background. 1-1 game. Couldn't be more even. Both teams with 4 hits.
Big story for the Bulldogs is 6 runners stranded through 3 innings.
Cafiel grounds to short. Over to Maddox at first, and there's 1 away quickly here in the bottom of the third, excuse me.
Designated player, Sam Dellinger.
Sam Dellinger steps to the plate. The designated player today for Creighton.
Dellinger reached on an infield single back in the first and was driven in by O'Gorman, the Blue Jays' only run.
Smith delivers. There's the ball, 1-0.
Dellinger's been one of the better hitters for the Blue Jays on the season. Now has her average over 280 after that hit she got back in the first.
2-0. Yeah, she had a big game last weekend. 2 hits, 3 RBIs in that victory over Iowa. There's a line drive into right. In comes Finner, and the ball drops in. And a base hit for Dillinger. So we got 1-on-1 out here, bottom of the third.
As high as she hit that ball in the air, you figured somebody would be able to get under it, but little seeing eye bloop into right field, just hits between the second baseman and the right fielder. Sam Dillinger with her second hit of the afternoon.
Finner had a notion to go after that one, but backed off. Worried about it going past her for extra bases. There's a ball. Just as that ball was hit, I noticed the flags again starting to blow in much harder than they were earlier. The wind was blowing out. There's a line drive over the seats behind the dugout. 1-1.
Looks as though Kaylee Smith has regained her control. She's been hammering the strike zone yet again. See what the Blue Jays can do about it.
Swing and a miss. 1-2. Dillinger has 5 extra base hits, 3 doubles and 2 home runs. Count rides 2-2.
Important for O'Gorman to fight off here. Make sure it's something over the plate. Don't swing at a bad one.
There's a line drive down the right field line, and that's just foul. 2-2. Jays have hit several balls down that right field line today.
Trying to go the other way against Smith. I don't know if what her velocity is, but they seem to be just a little bit behind, and sometimes that's a result of the colder temps. A little harder to get off the bat, get the bat off the shoulder.
That pitch inside. Counts full now. To O'Gorman, Jay's first baseman.
Once the air temperature warms up and those muscles loosen up, bat speed improves. But here in the early season, in March,
Fouled over to the Jays dugout.
the weather doesn't always cooperate. Not in Nebraska.
It could be much worse today, John.
Yes, it
could
certainly
be snowing.
could. There was a little bit of snow early this morning.
There's a ground ball through the right side, a base hit for O'Gorman. And now the Jays answer right back with runners at first and second and less than 2 outs here, the bottom of the third. You know, for a team that's hitting .209, John, the Jays are getting the bat on the ball pretty well today.
They've done a nice job staying behind everything, making good judgments, and just putting the ball in play. 6 hits on the afternoon already. But it's not as though Smith can't be had. I mean, a 4.61 ERA coming into this one in 18 appearances. You can get to her. She'll give up a few runs.
Jordan Sturgeon, Jays catcher, takes a second pitch outside. It's 2-0. Both pitchers seem to struggle, and then both have gotten big outs when runners have gotten on base. That's up high now, 3-0 to Sturgeon.
Smith yet to issue a walk today, but she's fallen into a pretty deep hole here against Sturgeon.
That's just in the strike zone, 3-1. Reinhardt on deck. Swing and a miss. Smith reared back on that one, 3-2.
Now Sturgeon, who struck out in the first, had gotten ahead 3-0 on this at bat, and now After two good pitches from Kaylee Smith, count rides full.
And ball 4 outside, and the Jays have them loaded here with one gone in the third. Drake's going to take time and have a conference at the mound. And meanwhile, the Jays are going with a pinch runner, Sydney Jenkins.
Your attention into pinch run for number 1, Sydney Jenkins. Pinch running for the Blue Jays.
Going to go pinch run for Gorman, who's on at second.
Just want to make sure that any ball that gets through the infield, that have an opportunity to score 2, put what you would assume is a faster Sydney Jenkins on second, and hope that she can take the extra base on anything out of the infield.
Not only that, I'm sure Coach Vigna's thinking anything hit to right field in the air, perhaps getting to third base as well. Here's Reinhardt swinging a miss. Smith with a heater, 0-1.
Reinhardt hit a single into center in the second inning, advanced to second but was stranded.
There's a fly ball into center field. Soa back, almost to the track, makes the catch. Coming home to score for the Jays is Sam Dellinger, and the Jays take a 2-1 lead here in the third inning. Reinhardt gave that one a good rip as well.
Well done on the sacrifice by Reinhardt. She tried to get it out of the park.
Yep, Soa drifted back quickly.
So playing a little deep anyway, able to camp out underneath it, but nothing she could do to stop Dellinger from coming home. And Blue Jays in business now.
Here's Jen Darrow. Pitch just low. Ball 1. Darrow hitting 176 on the season. 9 hits, and I'm sure Jays fans would like to see her get to double digits on hits right here. That one right on the outside corner. 1-1.
If Smith is able to come out of this, bases loaded with 1 out, and only giving up 1 run, there's something in the water.
That pitch on the corner as well. 1-2.
Both of these pitchers have done such a nice job today, working themselves out of trouble. Not so much staying out of trouble, but when they've gone into the deep end of the pool, they've been able to paddle out.
There's a line drive just foul down the left field line, past third. Count right is 1-2. It's amazing the mirror of this game. I mean, both pitchers struggling. Batters early in the innings, getting base runners aboard, and then finding a way to get out of it. Swing and a miss. Throw down to first to Maddox, and that ends the inning, and Smith gets out of a big jam there, allowing only 1 run, but the Jays do take the lead. And after 3, it's Creighton 2, Drake 1, and you're watching Creighton softball on GoCreighton.com. Yes, we are on the campus of Creighton University. Softball action today between the Drake Bulldogs in the Missouri Valley Conference and Creighton, of course, formerly of the Valley. We head to the top of the fourth inning. Brianna Clark still in the circle for the Jays. Worked out some tough jams so far. That pitch in there for a strike. One to Finneran, the right fielder for the Bulldogs. There's a line drive down the right field line. Just inside the line, but off the glove of Cantu, and Finneran races into second with a double. Diving attempt by Cantu, just inside the line and just popped out of her glove.
And it is scored a hit. It was immediately scored a hit. And we'll see. Look at Cantu right there. Just couldn't quite squeeze it. Momentum carrying her into foul territory with the ball. Fair ball and a double. Caitlin Finneran lead off this fourth inning.
And guess what, John? We've got runners aboard again with nobody
Here we
out.
go. The Bulldogs just haven't been able to do anything with it, though. They've stranded 2 in every inning of this game so far. They've had scored in the first, and in the second and third, they've had 2 runners aboard and got nothing for it.
Gabby Jonas, the catcher, steps to the plate. Ball 1. Looked like she was going to attempt to advance Finneran over to third.
Jonas singled into center her last time up, second inning, and was advanced to second, but was one of those stranded runners.
2-0 now. That one's in there, 2-1. I would say Clark's looking a little rattled with her control, but that's happened almost every inning. And every inning she comes back, and
both pitchers, they start the inning.
There's a bunt that's foul. Hit Jonas in the box, and it's 2-2.
Both pitchers seem to start each inning a little bit wild, but get runners on, and they settle down and work out of it.
There's a line drive in the gap. Cantu races over, makes the catch, and holds Finneran at second, 1 down. Gabby Jonas, right here from Omaha, went to Marion and got good wood on that one, but Cantu was right there in the gap to make the catch. So 1 down for the Bulldogs, and we go back to the top of the order, and Tasha Alexander steps to the plate. Bulldog third baseman. Tapped out in front of the plate. Clark over to O'Gorman and got her by a step. Good play by Clark. And they're now 2 away. Finneran moved over to third on the play. And now left-handed hitting Mandy Remick, the shortstop, steps in.
Remick has struck out twice. First and second inning.
Swing and a miss.
And she's
0-1.
Still swinging away up there. And
You would
Brianna
think
Clark work out of another jam.
Yeah, you would think that's a huge win for the Jays. Remick, the leading hitter on the Bulldog team. That one just off the corner. 1-1.
And again, you have to credit both of these pitchers. They've just done a really nice job of settling in once the inning gets going.
Ripped off the screen by the Jays dugout. 0-2.
I think they call that clutch, Tim.
Is that what it is?
Clutch pitching.
Or maybe the hitters just haven't delivered.
Perhaps.
The 0-2's way outside. 2-2, excuse me. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. That's line down. Over on top of the Gone Center here at CU Sports Complex, where the locker rooms for softball and baseball are housed. 2-2. That's just outside. Throw down to third, but Finneran's back. Maybe you're watching from Des Moines, not really familiar with this setting here. We're just south of the old home of Creighton baseball. Baseball field over there. They still use it for practice. That one's low. So Rarick draws a walk. And now we got runners at the corner with 2 outs. And up comes dangerous Megan Soa.
Soa's been on base in both of her previous at-bats, a single and a walk. She's drawn today.
Right on the corner, beauty. 0-1.
Scored the Bulldogs' only run back in the first.
Big opportunity here for Drake. Try and tie up this game. There's a line drive. Goes foul. Down the left field line. 0-2.
Just didn't quite catch up to it. Fastball from Clark.
And that's outside. Going down to second is Mandy Remick, stealing second. And now, once again, the Bulldogs have runners in scoring position here. There's a dribbler, line drive, caught by Darrell at third. And once again, the Jays work out of a jam. The Bulldogs again leave 2 runners on. And after 3.5, it's Creighton 2, Drake 1. You're watching Creighton Blue Jay softball on GoCreighton.com. All right, midway through the game here as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Rush hour traffic beginning to pick up in Omaha. Jays leading 2-1. And if I could predict what's going to happen, I'll bet you there'll be a couple runners on board in scoring position and the Jays unable to bring them home.
Through 3. Jays have stranded 5.
Sam Crowley pops that foul over into the seats.
3 of those have been stranded in scoring position. On the other side, the Bulldogs have stranded 8, and 6 have been in scoring position. So just one flick of the wrist, and this could be a much different game for either team.
Pitch upstairs, 2-1.
Crowley looking for her first hit of the day. She struck out back in the second.
It's ripped down the right field line, just foul.
And there again, Tim, we see another Blue Jay hitter behind the ball, hitting it foul down the right field line from the right side of the plate. So,
and most of those down the right field line have been hit pretty well. They haven't been little bloopers. They've been pasted pretty well.
But Blue Jays just not quite catching up to Kaylee Smith.
Swing and a miss. But Crowley beats it out down to first base. I wasn't sure if that ball was a foul tip or not at first, but
Just dropped.
home plate umpire says no.
Just a drop strike that was low and in the dirt. Crowley able to run and beat out. So it's one of those rare occasions where Smith gets the strikeout.
Anjanae McCoy drops down a bunt, throws over. No, that's dropped at first base. And now, running all the way over to third is Crowley, and the Jays have runners at first and third. Beautiful bunt by McCoy, dropped it right down in front of the plate. Maddox came in to grab it, threw it over to.
I want to see how they score this, whether it's scored an error or whether they do indeed give McCoy the sacrifice.
I believe they'll give her the sacrifice,
It's an
and
error.
then she reached on an error. Because she would have got the sacrifice anyway. I believe it is sacrifice, and then E1. Kelsey Wright just couldn't hold that ball. Obviously, normally plays second, ran over on that play as the first baseman Maddox came in to field the bunt.
So we have.
Perhaps I should go get a lottery ticket tonight because I
Maybe.
predicted once again there would be two runners on.
You did, Tim. But a couple of strange ways to reach base. Crowley strikes out but reaches first base. Gets advanced to third on a sacrifice E1, which puts McCoy on first base.
All right, first and third, nobody out. And there's a line drive into left field. Bowie makes the catch. Holds the runners. Crowley and McCoy right where they are. Cantu gave it a ride out to left field. And now Tosh Cafiel comes to the plate. It looked like Cantu may drop down a bunt or try a slap hit there, but she lined it pretty hard out into left field. Bowie came in, made the play easily. And they're down to the second. McCoy steals a base. And once again, Jays with runners in scoring position and less than 2 outs.
Cafiel just needs to get a little air under this one. She's grounded out twice in the first and the third. She can put it out of the infield. They can score 2.
There's a ground ball to second. Checks the runner, throws back to first. And now they've got McCoy stranded. They throw home to safe there, and McCoy gets in at third. Great piece of base running there by the Blue Jays. Once the throw went over to catch McCoy, who was stranded between second and third, Crowley came home, and the Jays now lead it 3-1.
Wow, it's been kind of a bizarre turn of events here in this 4th inning. The Jays managed to score a run through some wild plays, weird base running, and a couple of bad throws.
And now Dillinger steps to the plate. Yeah, a swing and a miss strike, a sacrifice with an error included, a stolen base, and then a ground out where they originally checked the runner, and then the McCoy getting stuck between second and third, and Crowley coming home during the rundown. You probably can't draw it up any more weird than that.
No.
And that's odd considering a game where we've had a lot of hits where runners have
Right.
gotten on and nobody's scored.
A bizarre way to score a run. for
Dillinger
sure.
takes the 2-0 pitch and fouls it back over the press box here. 2-1.
But at this point, when the Blue Jays are 8-16 on the season, I'm sure that Coach Vignes will take runs any way they come.
Dillinger's average climbing now up to 294. Little low, 3-1 now. And O'Gorman on deck. Foul back on the screen. Full count to Dillinger.
Dillinger's had a nice day, couple of singles, scored 2 runs.
Three-two, beautiful pitch by Smith. Dropped in there for strike 3. Works out of another tough jam as the Jays leave 2 aboard, but they do add another run. And now after 4, it's Creighton 3, Drake 1. You're watching Creighton Blue Jay Softball on GoCreighton.com. All right, we're back here at CU Sports Complex. Top of the 5th inning. Jays stretch out their lead. 3-1. Sarah Maddox, first baseman, steps in.
Maddox doubled in the first, popped foul in the third.
Clark's work count to 1-1. There's strike. 1-2.
Drake had started off the season playing pretty good softball, and then they come into this one having lost 3 in a row to Wichita State in their first weekend of conference play. So weren't feeling too great coming into this one, and it's been a little bit of a weird outing here today.
Bulldogs have yet to win a true road game. 0-8. But 16-4 in neutral games. They have yet to have their home opener as well.
It's just one of the things you have to deal with when you're playing a spring sport outdoors in the upper Midwest.
Yep.
You're going to play away from home for a lot of the early part of the season until it warms up enough. The ground has to thaw, or you can play home games on your own field.
There's a ground ball to third. Deep short. Coffey out, long throw, but no chance. Threw that from short left field. And that ball went over in the dugout area, so Maddox will awarded second base.
So it's an infield single, and Coffey credited with a throwing
No
error, which
chance.
advances Maddox to second.
Coffey's 6th error of the season. Foul right over the top of John and I here. 0-1.
The
Kaylee
window
Smith.
was open. Tim would have caught it.
I would have ducked, John. There's strike 0-2. Kaylee Smith trying to take advantage of early inning base runners, much as she has given the Jays advantage to take.
Yeah, Smith's been aboard with a pair of walks. They've been stranded each time.
Long line drive, but well fouled down the right field line.
She gets a little bit around on that pitch. It's well over the wall. See that kind of power. She can tie this game up with one swing right here.
Strike 3 called. And once again, Clark comes up big. One gone now.
Just the third strikeout of the day for Brianna Clark. Blows that one right past her opposite number, Kaylee Smith.
Pitch down low to Pena. 1-0. And as you can see, big drop off when you get past Smith in the bottom half of this Bulldog lineup. 2-0. There's a strike, 2-1. You know, we're talking about the weather. I would think it's a little cool for the fans, but I think for the players, just about right when you get out there moving around.
About 50 degrees.
There's a line drive into right center, base hit. This will score 1. And into second with a double. Pena with another RBI. Just ripped that one into the gap.
Yeah, this one got the barrel to it. No chance from McCoy at all. Goes all the way to the wall. Maddox easily in at home. Bulldogs back within a run.
9th RBI and 5th double for Pena. And now Kelsey Wright steps in, left-handed hitter.
Sarah Maddox on the day has an RBI and a run scored. Having herself a day.
Fouled into the net. 1-1. Kelsey, a junior from Olathe. Just outside. Another pitch Clark really wanted. 2-1 now. Foul back.
You know, he's talking about, hear coaches talk about putting up the crooked number. Neither team, despite all the base runners, has been able to get more than one in an inning. And is this the inning when the Bulldogs can put up that crooked number?
Two. In tight. Full count now to Wright.
Blue Jays had been 6-1 when they were leading after 4 innings. Haven't been one to surrender leads late. Bulldogs threatening to pull back even right here.
And that's just outside. Clark's really wanted that outside corner against those left-handed hitters, but hasn't got it. And again, runners at first and second with one out. It's a reoccurring theme in this game.
4 1/3 pitched, 5 walks issued. Now for Brianna Clark.
Caitlin Finneran steps in for the Bulldogs. Fouls that one back. 0-1.
Well, from a Blue Jay perspective, it's a good time for the Bulldogs to strand 2 runners yet again, Tim.
Well, I think you'd have to bet on it, wouldn't you? There's foul off to the right side, 0-2. I mean, it's happened every inning.
Every inning. They've left 2 on base in every inning so far. As I said earlier, 6 of the 8 have been left in scoring position, which that'll make a coach go from black hair to gray hair in a hurry.
There's a line into left field. Crowley back. It's off her glove to the wall. But the runners had to hold with one out. And so it's only a single. And now the bases are loaded. Jays are fortunate there that there was one out, because if there had been 2 outs, the bases would have cleared on that one.
And just driven into left. And Crowley's going to wish that she had that one back. Easily playable out there, or so it seemed, as she was drifting back and perhaps just lost a little sight of it. Touched off the end of the glove, and bases loaded, 1 away. Bulldogs threatening to blow this thing open.
And boy, wouldn't Omaha native Gabby Jonas love to get a hit right here.
Gabby Jonas, of course, the Marion High School product. Remember, Gabby is a pretty good basketball player over there at Marion. She's got a single and a fly out to right field here today. But big opportunity with the bases full and just 1 down.
Schatzhauer has come in to run for right over there at first. So Jonas steps in, bases loaded. Jays pull the infield in. There's a pitch up high, ball 1. Big, big, big point in this game here in the top of the 5th inning.
If Clark can work out of this one, she's a magician.
Up high again, 2-0. No place to put Gabby Jonas. Jump calls time. Coach Vignes going out to the mound to try and settle his pitcher down here. This crucial at bat of this game.
Well, you said it. This is critical. This is the fulcrum on which this game rests. It could teeter either way right here. It would be a huge momentum swing. The Blue Jays can manage to get the Bulldogs to strand 3 here in the 5th.
John getting a gold star for using the word fulcrum
thank you,
in
Tim.
a softball broadcast. If you're playing at home.
If you had fulcrum on your bingo card, mark that one off.
All right, 2-0 to Jonas. There's a strike, 2-1. Fly ball center field. Reinhardt drifting under it. She's got it. She's coming in. Here comes the play at the plate, and not in time. Pena scores, and the Bulldogs have tied up this game at 3 apiece. Throw was right there, just a hair late.
Jonas puts a good swing on it, just got a little bit underneath it. A nice play in center by Reinhardt. Our throw came up just short. I think she had enough arm on it, had enough time to get it there. It just didn't quite have enough arm on it.
Pitch inside, ball one. Yeah, it's debatable if Sturgeon would have been back a little bit, whether or not the throw would have been in time. It looked like it still would have been a little bit late. Foul back, rattled just beside the press box here, 0-2.
So now you're back to the top of the order with 2 runners on and 2 out.
There, the ball gets by Sturgeon. And the base runners advance, and now Bulldogs have 2 runners in scoring position with 2 out here. 2-1 count to Tasha Alexander, the leadoff hitter for the Bulldogs.
I'm going to call that one a wild pitch. It didn't look like Sturgeon ever really had a chance to catch it.
There's a line drive. Caulfield makes the catch. Well, Jays give up 2 there, but it could have been worse. As once again, bingo, 2 runners stranded. So after 4.5, excuse me, we're all tied up, 3-3, Drayton Creighton. Watch your Creighton Blue Jay softball on GoCreighton.com. Wow, look at that. Look at those 2 guys.
Hey, that's us.
2 good-looking guys calling a softball game here at the Sports Complex. 3-3 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. There's a line shot off the glove of right and into center field, and a base hit to start off the bottom of the 5th. O'Gorman ripping one right at right. Took a tough hop.
They're going to give her credit for the infield single on the tough hop. Just hits off the heel of Wright's glove and squirts into the outfield. And be the first hit of the day. Rather, the 3rd hit of the day for Anna O'Gorman. She's 3 for 3 on the day.
Having a great day, and here's Jordan Sturgeon. Looks to bunt, drops one down right in front of the plate. Alexander has it, throws over to Maddox. 1 away. I'm sorry, throws over to Wright, who is covering second. And on to second base goes O'Gorman, so the Jays now have a runner in scoring position with 1 down. And Allie Reinhardt, who's put the bat on the ball a couple times real hard today, steps to the plate. He's pushed that average up 12 points today, now hitting .206.
Allie's got a single and a sac fly. Drove in.
There's a line drive in the gap into right center. That's all the way to the wall. Reinhardt digging for second. Will make it easily. O'Gorman scores, and the Jays quickly take back the lead 4-3.
Well done. Put a good swing on it right in the power alley. Into the gap to the wall. Another RBI today. For Allie Reinhardt, she's got 2.
She's having a big day at the plate, coming in hitting 194, coming into the game.
Single, a sac fly, and a double.
Gendero's at the plate. Still only 1 out. But the Jays have reclaimed the lead 4-3 here in the bottom of the 5th. Darrow looking to bunt, pulls it back. Fly ball center field. So in, makes a catch. And 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th. Looks like Coach Vigner's going to make a change here. And Jason McGill will pinch hit for Crowley here. McGill's only had 14 bats this season and has yet to get a hit. She's walked twice and struck out 6 times. But a big spot here with runner on second. 2 out, and there's a strike. J.C. McGill, local product, right out of Papillion. Pitch is on the corner. Beautiful pitch with Smith. 0-2. Excuse me, 0-2.
Yeah, I know I've hit this before, but it's got to be tough coming off the bench cold to come in as a pinch hitter. You haven't really been out there running around in the field either. Now you're facing Smith, who's been on top of hitters all day.
And grounder back to Smith, off her leg, doesn't know where it is. And McGill will reach with her first hit of the season. That looked like that may have injured Smith. She's moving around the mound quite slowly, right off her shin.
That's a sore one.
And then could not find the ball. Maddox got it, but not in time, and McGill beats it out.
A hot one off the shin is something that the pitchers dread. You think about, in the baseball world, the bloody sock, one of the famous postseason MLB moments. We'll see. She's thrown a couple pitches. Has Kaylee Smith. Looks to be okay.
Coach Calvert out there, and it looks like she's okay. So runners at the corners now. 2 down. Kayla Picard running over there for McGill at first base. So runners at the corners. 2 down.
I
beg your pardon.
Plate here, Tim.
Beg your pardon. McCarr is pinch hitting here.
And Crowley now pinch running over at first base.
Picard pinch hitting for McCoy. Ball's outside. There we go with those multiple substitutions in softball we were talking about earlier.
If you're not used to it, it can be a bit baffling.
Two and 0 now to Picard. Moving up on the plate now. See if Smith's going to struggle after that hot shot off the shin. There's one right down Broadway. 2-1. Carr's had 15 at bats. Has gotten 2 hits. Walked 4 times and been hit by pitch twice. That pitch is low and outside. 3-1 now. So McGill comes off the bench cold, gets an infield single, and now McCarr's drawing the count to 3-1.
You mentioned it, Picard with 4 walks on the season and only 15 at bats. And that's what she's in there to do.
And she's done it again. And now they're loaded up. As we swing around to the top of the order, Ashley Cantu comes to the plate.
Cantu not been on base yet today.
Ajane McCoy goes back in now to run at first. Some good speed on the base paths for the Jays, and Ashley Cantu comes to the plate.
She's struck out, ground out, and a fly out.
There's a line drive caught by Remick at shortstop to retire the side. Smith comes back after that shot off her shin and gets out of a big jam as the Jays leave the bases loaded, but they do take the lead. And now after 5, it's Creighton 4, Drake 3. You're watching Creighton Blue Jay Softball on GoCreighton.com. All right, we head to the top of the 6th inning here. Jays take a 4-3 lead. And Manny Romick steps to the plate. First pitch low, and the Jays have a new pitcher in the circle. It's Sam Dellinger. 2.89 ERA, the top ERA on the team.
Dellinger comes in, relieves Clark. We'll give you her line in a second.
Just outside, Remick runs the count to 2-0. Yeah, she has 11 strikeouts and 10 walks in 26 innings pitched so far. Here's the 2-0 on the corner, 2-1.
Final line for Brianna Clark: 5 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 5 walks, and 3 strikeouts on the day for the starter.
Just going to mention that Clark has 15 appearances and had only 4 complete games, so this is not totally out of the realm of unusual activity for the Jays team this year. That one's fouled off the gun center, and the count goes to 2-2. Turn the lights on here to begin the 6th inning. Become a bit more overcast than it was earlier. That pitch is up and in, and the count runs full.
Remick has not had the kind of day that the Bulldogs would like to see. A couple of strikeouts and a walk, and stranded at second.
Here's the 3-2, and Remick draws a walk. And once again, a leadoff runner on for Drake. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, John, and say they're going to get one more runner on here.
You think
in
so?
This inning. Yes.
All right. We'll see if you are indeed the Swami here, Tim. It's been 2 runners left every inning for the Bulldogs, and they're going to look back on this thing. If they do end up falling to the Blue Jays here, I wonder what could have been.
And there's a strike to Megan Soa. So one of the top Bulldog hitters, hitting at .329. Pitch just off the corner. 1-1. Jays pitchers have not gotten that that pitch on the corner with the left-handed hitters up. Both Clark and Dellinger both looking hard at home plate after those pitches are caught. That's high.
Dellinger, the only
2-1.
Blue Jay pitcher who has a save on the season, so he does have preferred relief status. 9 appearances, but only started 3.
There's a fly ball. McCoy has it at second, and there's one away. See, it is, as the day wears on, it's probably dropped a few degrees, and Jay's bench players bundled up with stocking caps and coats on. And here comes first baseman Maddox. There's a strike. 0-1.
We mentioned that Sarah Maddox has had a nice day.
Boy, she has.
Double, but scored a run. And then scored a run herself in the 5th.
There's a ball. 1-1. There's a pop fly down the left field line, drifting foul, giving chase. Is probably a great catch. They're saying safe. They're saying she did tag up. Saying Remick did tag. Coach Vignes out to maybe dispute that.
Watch the catch, though, by Crowley. Just bobbled and then finally pulled in. And then the throw across to try and get Remick at second, who was tagging on the play.
But there are 2 away. A big out there. And up comes Kaylee Smith, the pitcher for Drake. She's got 18 RBIs on the season. Second on the team in that category, so a chance for her here with a runner in scoring position at second. Strike on the corner by Dellinger. There's a foul right back. We'll take a look at that last play. Yeah, she's off the bag at first before the ball is actually caught.
And you can see it bobbled over there.
Yeah, she's got about 3 steps there.
Remick was expecting that ball to be caught, but it wasn't. It was bobbled, which pulled her off the bag.
Struck her out. Swing and a miss. Good job by Dellinger to come in and get the last 3 after she let the leadoff runner on. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Creighton leads 4-3. And you're watching Creighton Blue Jays Softball on GoCreighton.com. All right, welcome back to CU Sports Complex. Really exciting home opener for the Jays. The Jays up 4-3 here in the bottom of the 6th. Leading off, it's Tosh Coffell. Shortstop for the Jays.
Coffey's grounded out 3 times in this one.
Line foul. 0-2. And by the way, John, just to point out, the Bulldogs only left 1 runner on that inning.
They did. They managed to reduce the number of left base runners to 1 in the 6th inning, which brings their total to 11.
So much for my prediction.
Curse of the commentator, Tim.
Oh, and 2 to Coffeyell. It's up high.
Coffeyell had been the leading hitter for the Blue Jays, coming in at .292. Our average has slipped a little bit today.
There's a grounder, deep short. Remick throws, not in time. Coffeyell with great speed, beat it out, and the Jays had the leadoff runner on.
Great speed from Tosh Coffeyell out of the box, and she gets a little bit of an advantage being in that left-handed batter's box. You see it right here. Comes out of the left-handed box and just does beat the throw.
Great stretch by Maddox.
That half-step difference, being on the left side rather than the right, might have been the difference.
Well, could have been. There's a chopper to second. Right is going to go to first to Maddox. And moving over to second is Coffeyell. So quickly 1 gone. But the Jays, again, have a runner in scoring position, with Dellinger headed to the plate. Should point out that Kaylee Smith for Drake, she started 16 games but has 8 complete games. So she's got, about 2-to-1 ratio there on games started and games complete. So this is not unusual. There's a line drive into left field by Dellinger. Base hit. Coffeyell is going to hold up at third as Bowie gets the ball back in quickly. Runners at the corners with 1 out.
That's 4 for 4 today for Anna O'Gorman.
I'm sorry, that was O'Gorman.
Another great hit right out into left field, and O'Gorman having one of her best days of the year.
It's been a tremendous afternoon.
RBI double back in the first. Single in the third. Singled and scored in the 5th, and now a single here in the 6th.
Sturgeon takes low, ball 1. I was tripped up by that designated player.
There you go.
See? Dellinger can no longer bat. There's a bunt at home. Throw the plate. She is out. Coffeyell gunned down at the plate by Smith. Jay's taking a chance there. It was a safe squeeze. And a great job by Jonas to block the plate. And here comes Reinhardt, who's also had a big day today. Runners now at first and second. And that pitch is in there for a strike.
Allie Reinhardt singled in the 2nd. Drove in one with a sacrifice fly in the 3rd. And hit one to the wall in right center in the 5th.
There's pop fly, short right field, second baseman right, grabs it. And the Jays go down quickly here in the 6th. With a big chance to score, but they couldn't get that insurance run. But at the end of 6, Creighton still leads 4-3. You're watching Creighton Blue Jay Softball on GoCreighton.com. All right, welcome back as we head to the top of the 7th. Creighton 4, Drake 3. Sam Dellinger out there in the circle, trying to shut down the Bulldogs and give Creighton his first win here at home of the season. The bit outside, ball 1. Taryn Pena had a big double back in the 5th. There's a strike.
Her double scored Sarah Maddox, and she scored herself to tie it up before the Blue Jays would tack one on.
Pulled foul right off the light standard.
Grounds crew doesn't like to see those because that one got right up there near the light.
Yes, it did.
Might have knocked out a light if it had been just a little bit higher.
Tara Pena had been at a carnival. She would have got the biggest
There you
teddy
go.
bear on the board. That's up high. Count moves to 2-2.
The wind is now blowing firmly out to right.
Just missed high. Count runs full 3-2. Ripped. Foul down the left field line. I believe she hit another light pole.
That one was right out there in the foul territory along the left field line. Might have come off the porch at the indoor facility.
I couldn't tell if it up the pole or the porch there. Full count. That's lined into center field. A solid base hit for Pena. Boy, she's hit the ball hard the last 2 appearances at the plate.
We've mentioned once you get past Kaylee Smith in this lineup, the averages haven't looked very good, but Pena has acquitted herself pretty nicely here today. She gets onto this pitch and drives it right in the gap.
So I know we sound like a broken record, but once again, Bulldogs have the leadoff runner on. Wright tries to lay down a bunt, but it rolls foul. Jays up 4-3 here, top of the 7th. Looking for a victory here in their home opener. The 0-1 up high, 1-1.
Every inning except the first, Tim, Drake has put the lead runner on base.
Jays have done a great job of working out of some jams today. The pitch just inside. And both Dellinger and Sturgeon looking at that one. 2-1. That's foul back. Evens the count at 2-2.
And you wonder what the message is here for Dellinger. Protecting this one-run lead. Does Coach Vignes want her to just hammer the strike zone and try and force the Bulldogs to put it in play, or perhaps pitch around a little bit and see if maybe playing from behind, Drake gets a bit anxious and overswings. You would think he would want her to attack.
Slow dribbler past the mound. McCoy has it, throws it wild. Runners can't advance though. And now the runners on first and second with 1 out. Excuse me, no 1 out.
infield single.
Dellinger just couldn't quite get it. McCoy came up and made the quick flip over to first, but
kind of dropped that one right into no man's land between the pitcher and second base. And McCoy just couldn't quite get it over quick enough.
so once again, Creighton in a big jam here. Runners at first and second, nobody out.
The lead run now standing on first base. In a game that's been tight throughout. Drake struck first, but Blue Jays answered right back in the bottom of the first, and we've been nip and tuck ever since.
So for the first time today, Melissa Schlotzauer comes to the plate. She came into the game in the fifth. Lays one down, but it rolls foul. Strike one. Schlotzauer, a sophomore from Pilot Grove, Missouri. She's not had a hit on the season, only 6 at bats. Here's the 0-1. Just off the corner. 1-1.
You can see what they want. They want Schlotzauer is going to try and lay down one of those running bunts.
Infield pulled way in for the Jays. And that did catch the corner, and it's 2-2. The outfield has also come in, anticipating anything hit to the outfield, going to try and cut that runner down at home.
Important thing for Dellinger here is to ignore what the batter's doing and throw a strike.
2-2. Dribbled foul. Wind is now turned around. Looks like it's blowing out to right field. This has been swirling all day. Coach Vignes calls time. Let's go have a conversation with his team.
That's critical time in the game right here. 2 aboard, none away. Blue Jays with a chance to get out of here with a win. They can just find a way out of this half inning.
Of course, with that outfield pulled in a little, you're in danger of anything going in the gap, getting by and being extra bases, and then you would relinquish the lead.
Anything in the gap is probably going to score 2 here.
Although they're, playing the percentages with Schlotzauer, who hasn't had a hit yet this season, hasn't had that many at-bats. 1-2 count. Dellinger delivers. Another foul. There's a looper in the short left. Caught by Crowley as she was playing way in. And there is one away, and strategy we're just talking about paid off right there.
Yeah, great defensive adjustment by Coach Vignes. Pulling that infield in, because that's a bloop single that probably scores a run if everybody's at regular depth in the outfield. But he pulled him in. A great play by Crowley out there to track it down and get that crucial first out.
Yes, as he said, John, a big first out now. And, of course, the Jays have a force going on at any base with 1 out. That pitch is right down the plate. Strike 1. Gabby Jonas again comes to the plate with a big opportunity here. The 0-1 up high, 1-1.
Jonas had a sac fly in the 5th. It scored the run.
Swing and a miss. 1 and 2.
Sure, Gabby Jonas would like nothing more than to put a swing on one and beat the hometown team.
Dillinger's pitch line to third. Bobbled by Darrell, but she reaches back and tags the bag for the force at third, and now there are 2 gone. Good play there by Jen Darrell.
Jonas reaches on the fielder's choice. But we stay as we were. Runners on first and second. Good play by Darrow. Scoop that up and just touch the bag.
However, if she catches that, there may have been a chance to get a double play there, as base runners had moved quite a bit off the bags. So 2 gone. And leadoff hitter Tasha Alexander comes to the plate. Time as Sturgeon goes out to talk to Dellinger. Well, we got a second here, should mention. John and I will be back with you a week from today.
We will be. We'll be right
the
here
big interstate
again.
rivalry, Nebraska and Creighton, right here from the CU Sports Complex at 6 o'clock next Wednesday night. That's if they'll have us.
Well, it's always contingent upon that.
There's a strike. I'm sure the thousands of you that heard this broadcast can't wait for that one. Just outside, 1-1.
Who knows, Tim? Maybe next week they'll let us turn the air conditioner on in the press box.
That would be nice. However, I'll have to say it was just the right temperature.
Right.
Not too warm, not too cold today. Swing and a miss. Bulldogs down their last strike here. 2 on, 2 out. And a 1-2 count to Tasha Alexander.
Yeah, big pitch here for Dellinger. She can close this thing out with one good pitch. A much needed victory for the Blue Jays. This would be.
1-2. That's just fouled. Boy, she just got a piece of that one. Sturgeon's taking a beating here in these last 2 pitches.
Well, the other situation you're dealing with now is this is the top of the Bulldog order. So if you don't get Alexander, you run into Remick, Soa, and Maddox again.
1-2. Pop foul out of play. Just a terrific game today for the Jays home opener. Hope you enjoyed it. Both teams getting plenty of opportunities to push across runs, but some clutch pitching. 1-2 up high. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Here in the top of the 7th.
It's a good eye from Tasha Alexander. She's battling up there in this at bat.
The 2-2. Grounded deep in the hole. No play. Tosh Caulfield just held on to it smartly. And now the bases are loaded for the dangerous Mandy Remick. This one not coming easy for the Jays, John.
No, the Bulldogs are not going away. Quietly, anyway. And now you've got Mandy Remick, shortstop. She's walked her last 2 times at the plate. Nowhere to put her this time.
And that time, the Jays do get that pitch on the outside corner for strike 1.
So you know that Remick will be patient. She's not going to swing at anything out of the zone. Probably going to be really important for Dellinger to just pound the ball in there.
The 0-1. Just a hair outside, 1-1.
gets the sign over there. You see her check her wrist. She's got the signs on that wrist pad.
Rip foul down the left field line on top of Gone Pavilion. And again, 1-2. Jays 1 strike away again. Just low, 2-2.
Again, patience from Mandy Remick. She's not going to take anything out of the zone. You're going to have to put it across the plate and just beat her with a pitch.
Ground ball, McCoy. Over to first. And the side is retired. And the Jays get a win here in their home opener, 4-3 over a valiant Bulldog team from Drake. Box scores 4-11-2 for the Jays, 3-10-1 for the Bulldogs. What a game, and as we said, next Wednesday night, Creighton, Nebraska, right here at CU Sports Complex. We'll see you then. You've been watching Creighton Blue Jays Softball on GoCreighton.com. There's a line drive in the gap into right center. That's all. Reinhardt digging for second.